Almost every car Honda has launched in the Indian market, barring the Jazz, has achieved outstanding success. In fact, in their entire product portfolio, there isn't a single car that anyone could term mediocre. Even the Jazz was a phenomenal vehicle, except it didn't do as well as Honda expected it to do. But then there was the Accord, the Civic, the City and the Brio, which were big box office hits in the passenger car segment. And in the SUV segment, well, the CR-V was one of their best sellers ever until, of course, fuel prices, especially petrol, skyrocketed and Honda took a big hit because they just didn't have a diesel in that mix. But things are about to change. Well, they have the new Honda Amaze sedan coming out shortly, and that's going to be Honda's first diesel offering for the Indian market. But this story isn't about that car. This story is about this new SUV, the all-new CR-V. And as you can see, quite a few things have changed. So this new 4th generation CR-V is considerably different from the older SUV. It has a striking front face which makes the CR-V look fresh and stylish, and all lashings of chrome give it a premium. The new Honda is shorter overall by 30 mm, but it is taller by 5 mm and the wheelbase remains the same. The rear tail lamps are more angular with sharper edges and wrap themselves around the corners, while the rear windscreen glass area looks smaller on a larger hatch, though you do get a reversing camera to make things easier. Room inside the cabin has actually grown, and there is a new dashboard with a host of new features embedded. The steering wheel is also a new design, incorporating audio controls and cruise control as standard. The base variants get an audio system with DVD, USB and iPod connectivity, while the top spec adds the satellite navigation and Bluetooth connectivity to the mix. The instrument cluster looks sporty and is easy to read, while build quality is typical of Honda with great materials and tight shut lines. There are 2 engine options available with the CR-V and well, the 2 transmission options as well. Now the star of the engine package mix is of course the 2-liter petrol engine. This is mated to either a 6-speed manual transmission or a 5-speed automatic transmission. Now the larger 2.4-liter petrol, well, that is mated to a 5-speed automatic alone, and it's also the only engine to get the 4-wheel drive drivetrain. Now the 2-liter petrol engine, that makes about 156 PS of max power and about 190 Newton meters of max torque. But what makes it stand out is that it's extremely refined, and especially with the manual transmission, it's a very quiet, smooth and effortless performer. It's got very strong low and mid-range torque, acceleration is rapid, fuel efficiency is superb. ARAI claims a figure of 13.7 kmpl for the 2-liter with the 6-speed manual transmission, and that's very impressive. Overall, I think the big seller will be the 2-liter petrol engine, not the 2.4. The car I'm driving is the 2.4-liter petrol, which only comes with the 5-speed automatic transmission and paddle shifts behind the steering. But this is not the engine package to invest in, as it is an old and whiny transmission that makes a fair amount of noise. It's also got very tall gearing. Second gear can take you all the way to 125 kmph before it shifts to third, another reason for the engine noise. The new CR-V also offers an economy mode to drive in, and you activate it by pressing down on a green button that's to be found on the dashboard at the right hand side of the steering wheel. And what it does is basically modulates the engine output, it modulates the transmission character as well as the air conditioning. Now all of this is done to benefit efficiency. The engine is supposed to feel a lot more linear and it won't accelerate as aggressively. At least this is what Honda claims, but on trying it out, well, I really didn't see much of the difference, because stepping down hard on the throttle still ensured that the needle moved with the same velocity towards its red line, and it did go all the way to the red line. So I'm not entirely sure how that function is supposed to help the CR-V, but apparently it does. The chassis and suspension components have also been changed. There are quite a few modifications in there. The dampers, well, they're stiffer. Damping abilities have been improved by about 10%, and well, the ride quality definitely feels a lot more superior than what it used to be. And the CR-V was no slouch in that area, but well, this new CR-V has got phenomenal ride quality. A lot of people will appreciate the ride quality.
What a lot of people will also appreciate is the new electrically assisted power steering, which makes this SUV a breeze to drive in the city, even if you have a sprained wrist like me. It's not as precise as a hydraulic unit, but it weighs up nicely at speed and is a willing accomplice when you want to push hard around corners.
What the stiffer dampers also do for the CR-V is that it enhances handling considerably. If you're going fast around a corner, well, this CR-V is a lot more stable, it's a lot more composed, and it's a lot more confident than the previous generation one. The four-wheel drive is available only with the 2.4 litre petrol engine. And well, Honda calls it real-time four-wheel drive, but effectively, or rather very simply, what this means is that torque is distributed only to the front wheel during normal everyday driving cycles, and only when it's absolutely required will the CR-V distribute it to all four wheels. Now this is done for the benefit of fuel efficiency. So at all times it's a front wheel drive SUV, but when absolutely required it turns into a four-wheel drive.